one of us wild, wacky Christians and find out your answer. Want to know why on earth we celebrate Easter, why on earth we do what we do, like going to church and praying and all that sort of stuff. If you have got questions that you want to ask, now's your opportunity. We've got one of the wisest sages in Redditch here to answer your questions. So, Tim, if we can get you a microphone. I'll let Tim introduce himself and we'll go from there.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm not sure about being introduced as a wise sage. I've always saw myself more as oregano, personally. Hello, everyone. I'm Big Tim. I will be answering your big questions today, I hope. First, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about a contradiction in the nature of God. Right, Christians, we talk about this God who is completely, purely, and perfectly just. And also this God who's completely, perfectly merciful. Well, hang on, you can't have just and merciful together, can you? This is a contradiction in the very nature of God. Right, well, I mean, that's true, we got problems. I mean, think about it from a legal perspective. You've got a judge. He's got a wig on. He looks a little bit like me, very respectable. And he in order to be just, he has to pass out harsh sentences on the people who do wrong things, on the drug dealers, on the bankers. That's a popular one. He's got to pass out harsh sentences. How to be merciful, he's got to say, oh, that's all right, don't worry about it. Here, have a mini egg. Have some flowers. Go away. It's okay, don't worry about it. We love you. So, you've got to be able to put these two things together. But I'm going to see if I can pull this into a perspective for you. Imagine there were two friends, really close friends, close as brothers, who grew up together. Now, one went to university. He became he studied law. He became a lawyer. He became a judge. And he was regarded as one of the best judges in the country. He was a really solid man. His friend, also very intelligent, went to university, studied accounting, became economics, became a banker, became quite high flying in the city, sniffed a lot of coke. And what he did, he committed fraud. He embezzled millions of pounds. Does this sound familiar? Okay, he went wrong now. This man went to court. This is a very high-profile case. The judge sat there, and he saw in front of him, in the box, he saw his friend, the guy he'd grown up with, a man who he loved as close as brothers. There's a lot of rumour in the press, there's a lot of conversation in the press. What's going to happen? Is this judge going to let him off? Is he going to be merciful? Or is he going to pass a really harsh sentence? Is he going to sentence this guy to hundreds of thousands of pounds? Because obviously this guy didn't just lose our money, he lost his own money as well. He'd never pay it off. What's he going to do? Well, he's a just judge. He sits there and he says, you, my friend, are guilty. And he fines him hundreds of thousands of pounds, something he knows that his friend will never be able to pay off. And his friend's, well, he's lost. He can never pay this off. He's going to go to prison. He's got no choice. He's going to go down another road of well, we'll call it sin, but another road of crime, isn't he? To get the money, to pay this debt off. So what the judge does, he knows this. He loves this man in front of him, but he's got to be just. He takes off his robe, takes off his wig, and he goes down to the box, and he says, you're guilty. He writes out a cheque for hundreds of thousands of pounds, the exact amount that he's just passed sentence on. And he says, you're guilty and you're free to go. He pays the debt for him. This is a merciful judge. He's a just judge, and he's a merciful judge. That's how it could be done. Now, what do we see here from the nature of God? He's a just judge. We've done stuff wrong in our lives. Is anybody here who's never done anything wrong in their life? No? I certainly, I'm not pretending that I have. We've all done stuff that we're not proud of. We've all done stuff that that we know wasn't right. We know that in fact, you're not going to like this word, we are sinners. Yes, I went all churchy on you. And that means that we're not good enough to go to God. We're just not. On our own, we're just not. So what's God going to do? God is merciful and God loves us. He loves us like that judge loved his friend who was like a brother to him. So God's going to come down and he's going to pay the debt for what we have done. How's he going to do that? He's going to do it on a cross. About 2,000 years ago, for your sake, God came to earth and he died so that you could have a relationship with him. Whew. Now that's quite exciting. If that's not something to get excited about, then, don't bother with Easter eggs, because they're not going to get you there. It's not going to be interesting for you. If you're not excited about that, ladies and gentlemen, you need to check you're alive. Okay. And I'm going to throw the floor open for you. Are there any, does anyone have any questions, any burning questions that they don't understand about the Christian faith? They don't understand about the resurrection? Yes. Hold on just a second. We'll come to you in a second, okay? Hiya.
Hi, how you going?
Magnificent.
You be at church tomorrow?
I'm planning to be, yeah.
I'll be there. Right, how come you reckon the world is only 6,000 years old?
The whole creation thing. Right, there's no timetable for creation in the Bible. There just isn't. If you look at Genesis chapter 1, you've got Hebrew poetry, right? We don't have a timetable for how old the world is. I don't see a problem with people believing that the world is billions of years old, and I don't have a problem with people believing it 6,000 years old. It doesn't affect my faith in God. People have worked out that it's 3,000, 6,000, or people have worked out that it's billions. It's irrelevant.
Christianity is a faith.
Yes.
You've got to believe in a faith, like the way that you can't smell the colour red,
Yep.
You can't smell the colour green, and you can't see the colour of coffee, in a sense of smell. How does faith, or how do you find faith? How does it get you?
How does it get you? How does faith work? Faith is regarded in the Bible as a gift from God. Okay, so faith is a gift from God. I hear a lot of people sometimes say to me, Tim, I don't have enough faith. I don't have any faith at all. It's not true. Because you sit down on a chair, you don't check that chair is going to hold you up. You've got faith. What is faith? Faith is trust. So what I'm saying, what faith in Jesus is you take your trust from whatever you're building your life on now, and you transfer it to trusting in Jesus. Oh, Jim, we've got one more question. I've got other people to.
Asking of faith in itself.
Yeah.
If somebody asked you, I've just lost my father, and if somebody asked you to, one of my favourite films is Contact, and she was asked, Jodie Foster as an actress, was asked that she loved her father. Prove it.
I didn't hear the question. Prove
your love for something.
Prove your love for something. Absolutely. Good point. You can't do it. You can't prove that in a scientific formula, because there are some things which are not scientific questions. Love is one of them. Faith is another. These are things that are cannot be proved scientifically, but we all know that they exist. We all know that these things are real. We know it instinctively, and we know it. We just know it.
So that's your faith.
Yes, my faith is twofold. My faith is based on evidence, and I follow the evidence. I was brought up an atheist in an atheistic household, very good atheistic household, but I was brought up an atheist. I was an atheist until the age of 21, when I actually started opening my eyes and looking at the questions which were burning in my heart. Yeah, absolutely, you can't be an atheist without faith, and in fact, to be an atheist, you have to have an awful lot more faith than to be a Christian. It's a very good point, well made, thank you. Thank you very much for the questions.
Thank you.
We have another question.
When Jesus was put on the cross, how did he manage to come back alive?
The whole resurrection question, how was it done? I'll tell you what, if we could work that out, if we could work out how we could do it, there would be no fascination with the TV magicians. Name TV magician?
David Blaine.
David Blaine. There'd be no fascination with David Blaine because, let's face it, that's a big thing. Here's how he did it. He defeated death. His resurrection was a testament that in actual fact he was who he said he was. He did what he said he was going to do. He was a truth teller. He was telling the truth the whole time. Now, a lot of people denied this, but a lot of people didn't like this. A lot of people said, no, you're joking, you're going to die and come back to life. I don't think so, my son. Because it hasn't happened before. How did it happen? It happened by the power of God. It happened because death no longer had a hold on him. Right? We're told in the Bible that the wages of sin are death. So if you sin, the natural result of that is you're going to die. Jesus dealt with sin. So not only did he have no sin in the first place, he took on the rest of the sin of the rest of the world, and he paid for it. That's over. Here's the next good news. Here's the real good news. 1 second. Here's the real good news. You don't have to die. Your body's going to come to an end. Your body's going to come to an end. But you, the person who is you, doesn't have to die. Now that is exciting. Thank you.
Is there any more questions? Anybody got anything they would like to ask?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
How did my granddad die?
How did your granddad die? I don't know. You tell me. How did your granddad die? You don't know. Okay. What did the doctor's report say? You don't know. Okay. So I can't answer that question if you can't. I can tell you that physically, his body died because his body stopped working. Okay. I can tell you that spiritually, well, it kind of the next question really depends on what decisions he made in life about Jesus Christ. Do you know whether he followed Jesus Christ? He did. In which case, I can also tell you that he is absent from the body, but present with the Lord. He is still alive. Okay. If he's a follower of Jesus Christ, that's what Jesus promises. Okay? And by the way, Jesus' resurrection was a testimony to the fact that Jesus is a truth teller. He tells the truth, and that's how you know. Okay. Oh. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go!
Why is this world in such a mess?
Absolutely. Brilliant question. Completely right. This world is a mess. This world is full of pain. It's full of suffering. It's not right. Something inside all of us is saying, there's something not right with this world. I'll tell you what, when God created this world, the Bible tells us, when God created this world, it was very good. There wasn't the pain, the suffering, the anguish that we go through today. That was not part of God's plan. What happened? Who can tell me what happened in Genesis 3? It's called the fall. Hold on a second. Man chose to disregard God's design, God's instruction, and therefore this world became a considerably less wonderful place than it was designed to be. Pain and suffering, unfortunately, is a way of this world, but this world is not perfect because of sin. Does that answer your question? Okay.
I think if I could give an answer to anybody in why is this world in such a bad mess, I would say, what are you going to do about it? What responsibility do you as an individual take? That absolutely. And the love your neighbour bit, that's directly out of the Word of God. That's biblical. So bless you. What we're going to do now is we're just going to bring an end to the question time. However, Tim and other people are around to answer questions and take time out with you. And we've got a young man here, John, who's going to give us a song while we can continue to answer questions and talk to you. There is tea and coffee inside, and then a little while later, some of the guys are going to do another rap, beatbox, bit of dancing, and then the musicians are going to be back on. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that very much. Thank you, guys, for your questions. We appreciate you very much as well.